Hey there, this is Editing Tasha. Right before this video starts, I just want to let you guys kind of know what's going to be in this video. This video is everything I crocheted this week, a little bit of market prepping for the store, market prepping for the market I have on Saturday, and then on the back end is going to be 2 video clips of 2 different markets that I went to and just like getting there, setting up, and that kind of stuff. So it's kind of a long video, but it's everything I did this week, which is a little bit, and then I didn't want to break it up into 2 smaller videos. So go grab something good to drink, a snack, a project that you want to work on, and come hang out with me. Hey there, welcome to another week of crochet. If you are new here, my name is Tasha and I run a small business called Crochet by Tasha. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for joining in with me and sticking with me and supporting me. What I thought I would do today is talk about what I have been crocheting this week. So I don't usually do vlogs like that. I don't usually say, this is what I made this week. When I've already made it, it's usually more like, this is what I just made. But I've been making things like on the go while traveling because my life is a little turbulent right now. And if you've been following me, I'm sorry, this is like crooked. If you've been following me, then you know why my life is a little bit turbulent. I do have some life updates to give you after I've shown you some of the things that I've made. Everything that I'm going to talk about, I'll make sure that I put the patterns down below. And this is not the only day I'm going to do this. I'm going to have probably a few days of this is what I crocheted. But let's just talk about what I've been crocheting lately. So I have had the Annie Caraway art pattern for quite a while. I've made the big cats. I think I've made the little kittens a few times, but not really. So I thought I wanted to go ahead and make some little ones because I have a market on Saturday and I thought these would sell really well. I'm gonna sell them for $15 and I'm gonna put them in a box like I see a lot of you doing where you say like adopt a kitten, $15. I decided to make a watermelon kitten. I don't know why I came up with this. I just did it. So I made the watermelon kitten and I used a 6.5 millimeter hook, and this is Bernat blanket yarn. This is Mystical and this is just Bernat baby blanket. But I think it turned out really cute. It's not my favorite kitten, but I don't know. I just had the idea. And then the next kitten that I made is this one, and this yarn is called Toasted Marshmallow. It's by Premier. It's a really pretty colorway. It's like gray, beige, white, and I just thought it would make a really cute kitten, and it did. I did brown for the nose and the whiskers. I'm not completely in love with the way these turned out. Whiskers, I struggle with putting whiskers on. They never look straight. They always look a little awkward to me. So I made these 2. And then I took my chicken yarn, which is my speckled yarn, and this is probably my favorite one. This is the spotted kitten. It has like a black face, and then it has like the spotted yarn for the tail. And then I gave it these really cute 20 millimeter purple glitter eyes, and I think it turned out really, really cute and really chunky. Like look how much chunkier this one is than this one. Okay, the next one that I made is a basic brown one, and this is Chenille Basics Chocolate. And again, I used a 6.5 millimeter hook. I think this one turned out really, really cute. I wasn't sure about the nose. I was gonna do black, but wasn't sure if it was gonna show up. And this yarn turned out a lot smaller, maybe the same. I think this green yarn must be Chenille Basics because those are just about the same. And then the last kitten that I made is this really adorable black kitten. I'm not sure how I feel about that nose. He's cute, but I'm not sure how I feel about that nose. I think I might switch this out for a velvet nose, but that's a dog nose. No, I'm not sure. What do you think about the nose color? I don't like it. But then what should I use instead? Should I just go with white? I like the gold eyes, but I just want to switch that up. So these are the kittens that I made. I made these 2. I made the watermelon cat. I made the toasted marshmallow cat and the speckled cat. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kittens. Then I wanted to try out a new pattern. I haven't made this pattern since I bought it, but it is the shrimp pattern. And it took me a lot longer than I was expecting. I like the way it turned out. And I thought being in Maine, you know, I mean, even Florida shrimp would probably be really good. But I thought, you know, in Maine, sea creatures, people seem to love them. And I like the way that the tail looks. This is Premier Parfait yarn. This is a different yarn that comes in the cone, and I just do not like the quality of this white yarn. I think that's the problem. When you're making these little stripes, you're doing back loop only, slip stitch. So then when you go to do your next row of back loop only slip stitch, it's really hard to find the loop because I don't think there is a loop. I don't know. I just know that when I did it, I struggled. I like the way it turned out. I have to do one last step and I don't have the right yarn. I have to use red worsted weight yarn to make the little things that stick out of the front. And when I get to the mainland, I have some red worsted weight yarn and I'll be able to finish him off. But he's super cute. I thought it would be so fun to get like a big martini glass or like a big oversized wine glass and then put these in the wine glass like that, like you would eat shrimp cocktail at a restaurant, and maybe put like some greenery in there. And I thought that would be, that's definitely the way I want to display them. Thought that would be really cute. Okay, I just dropped off 17 baby whales to the store, and when I was counting them, one of the whales did not have any eyes, so I had to pull it out. So I turned in 17 on the computer, but I actually only turned in 16. So I went ahead and made another baby whale. This is a Premier yarn. I will put the colorway on the screen for you guys. It's one of the new sections of Premier Parfait yarn. This is the toasted marshmallow, and I cannot remember the name of this one, but it makes an absolutely perfect baby whale. And this baby whale is from All From Jade, her baby whale pattern. I make it all the time. Okay, and I had to make some more chubby frogs for the store. So I made this one in this speckled Bernat yarn. And then this yarn, which I think is just my all-time favorite, this is the same as the whale, makes an absolutely beautiful frog. I'm curious to see which frogs have sold in the store. Something tells me it was probably this one. I made 2 in this color. I made 1 in this Bernat speckled yarn, and then I made 1, I think this is like Jungle Green or something by Bernat. It's one of my favorite yarns, so I made 4 chubby frogs. And that is pretty much all I've been working on. I do have a video that I made this week that is all about minis, and I made 7 mini patterns, but I don't want to talk to you about those because that's a repeat and I don't want you to have to hear things twice. So let's talk about the store. I have been, of course, keeping track of the store. It has an online portal where I can see live what's selling. And I just wanted to kind of explain to you guys what is sold so far. I have been in the store for, I believe, 8, 9, I think this is my 10th day in the store. And I've sold 14 items, which I was pretty happy with. That's a total of $216. I have sold 2 baby whales, and I just dropped those off on Sunday. 2 baby whales, 4 chubby frogs, 1 moose, 1 puffin, 3 black bears, and 3 small blueberries. So to prepare for the upcoming busier season in the store, I bought, to prepare for the upcoming busy season, I saw the owner on Sunday and she said, how are you doing? And at that point I had sold, I think 10 items. And she said, like, how are you doing? And I said, oh, great, I've sold 10 things. And she said, wow, that's your first week. That's so amazing. And we haven't even hit our busy season. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, I need to make sure I've created back stock, but I need to create even more back stock. So I went ahead and I'm completely out of this color. I use this for blueberries. So I'm gonna go ahead and make some small and medium blueberries. I got 2 skeins off Amazon. I probably overpaid for it, but honestly, I don't think it was that bad. And then I think I have probably 10 chubby frogs in this store right now, and so I'm going to drop these 4 off, but I want to continue making these because I think they're going to be popular. And then I also need to continue making moose, puffin, black bears, and whales. And I want to make a dad whale. I've made 4 or 5 mama whales with a baby, and I want to go ahead and make some daddy whales for boys that maybe want to come in and don't necessarily want a baby coming out of their whale. So that's kind of what's happening on a personal level. We might be able to close on Friday. We're supposed to close on Monday, but he said if we're all set and if the other people are all set, then we could maybe close on Friday. So I will find out probably tomorrow if we can close on Friday, which would be amazing, because then I can go ahead and start loading up the trailer and bringing my stuff over and unpacking again. So, lady, come here. I want to show you guys my daughter's dog. Come here. Come here. Say hi to the people. This is Lady. She is a medium-sized poodle, and she is hanging out with me for 3 days, and I will return her to my daughter tomorrow. So that is what's going on in my life, and I will catch up with you guys in a little bit. Who's a sweet girl? Who's the sweetest girl? It is the next day, Thursday, and I want to come on and show you guys what I made last night. I put a little clip of it in my previous video, but I didn't talk about it. So here is my pickle jar, and I'm making this to go to markets, and I'm also making one to go into the store where I sell my products in Freeport. So I want to kind of explain to you how I made this, and I will link all the items below so that you can make your own jar if you want to. This is a plastic jar that I got off of Amazon. It was a pack of 2. I have another one over there. And this is a file that I made on Canva. It says Positive Pickles, handmade, and I put my Crochet by Tasha right here in the corner, but the one that I'm going to share with you doesn't have that there, so that you can put your own spin on it. But if you like this, you can click on it, print it for free. I made sure that on Canva I chose anyone with a link can open it so that you guys can make your very own. You can also resize it to the size that you want. I wanted to still be able to see the pickles around the side, and so the original one was really big, and I kind of sized it down a little bit. The other thing that I found was the pattern, which is all from Jade, and it is her pickle pattern. And this is actually a pickle pattern that has a red Santa hat, but in the pattern you can just make the pickle. So all from Jade's free pickle pattern. I really like the size of this pickle. I've made other pickles before that were bigger, that didn't really, not that many fit in the jar, and I feel like this fits like 7 pickles perfectly. The other thing that I used was this file. I purchased these on Etsy, and it's a Positive Pickle file, and this is so cute. So this is the front of it. It says Positive Pickle, handmade, and then on the back it says, put my glasses on, it says, whenever you feel sour, I'll help you deal with it. Remember, the door to happiness is always ajar. So relish every moment, because in the end, everything will be just brine. So I think that's really cute. When I went to a Christmas market, I had a bunch of these Positive Pickles in a jar. I actually had a glass jar at that point, and I switched it out for plastic. People could not get over that little poem on the back. They thought it was hysterical. Like, they were buying these to put in friends' stockings and family members' stockings, and I think it's really cute. It only took me a few minutes to print these. I actually, because I don't have my laminator here, I just covered them in packing tape and then cut them out. But if you want to use laminating, that would probably be better. I also, if I had it here, would have used cardstock in like a cream color or beige or something like that. And then I would have just printed it and not laminated it at all. So that's an option for you. And you can see that I just folded it in half. The front has the title, the back has the little poem, and then I just tied it with a little string that's the same color as the pickle. When I did the market in December, I used twine, and I want to say I really prefer this string because it doesn't take away from the front of the pickle. So I was able to fit 7 pickles. I made all of their eyes embroidered. I really think that this adds a lot of character. Can you hear my cat? She is meowing at the door, even though I keep opening the door. She won't come in, but she's standing out there meowing, and I don't know what she wants. I think she's so happy that Lady's not here. Wait, you're gonna crack up. This one I somehow made really wide and fat. He's like he's a chubby pickle. I don't know why, but he's a chubby pickle. And you can see they're all pretty similarly sized. This one's a little skinnier. Just means I was probably watching TV and not paying attention. So I was able to make 7 pickles, And I used a 6mm hook and Premier Parfait yarn in this really pretty emerald green color. Hold on, let me go let her in. I'm gonna be going back to the store on hopefully tomorrow, maybe Saturday, and dropping these off, as well as a few other things that I made. I had to go uptown today because I had to take Lady back to my daughter's house, and we went and packed for a few hours. And so while we were driving, I made blueberries. This is a blueberry pattern that's free on Instagram. This yarn is called Twilight. I always use this for my blueberries. I think it's the perfect blueberry color. And I used a 6mm hook with this yarn. I'm gonna see how many blueberries I can get from one skein that are all this size. I made medium blueberries, large blueberries, and I really wanna see how many small blueberries I can get. I charged $12 for these blueberries. I use sinker eyes with them, and I usually pick like different colors so they all have different colored eyes, just to give them a little bit more character. But that's what I'm gonna be working on for the next hour or so, and let's see how many blueberries I can get made. This is how many I made in the car, and I haven't like stuffed them or anything. That is 3, and I made 4. So I made 4 blueberries in the car, and I still have this much yarn left. So let's see how many I can get made. These are my safety eyes. They are 18mm, and I have all of these colors that come with it for the backs, and they're pretty easy to use. You just slip them onto the back, and then you get all these different colored eyes. You definitely need the safety eye tool, which I'll show you. If you don't have one of these, I would highly recommend you get something like this. There's a bunch of different companies out there that make them now. It has a rubber side for the part that touches the eye, and then it has a whole side so that the back of the eye can go into it. Looks like that. And once you snap it in, it is like in there. I have had a couple of eyes pop out, but I think that just means either my yarn was extra thick or I didn't make sure that it was really in there. You're supposed to look for the last ridge. Excuse my bruised fingernail here. And I savagely ripped all my nails off, so they look terrible. But if you look at it, there are 3 ridges, and the you're supposed to be able to see this last ridge, and then you know that it is on. I finished 5 of the blueberries. Let's look at their different colored eyes. This one has like an aqua blue, and this one is also aqua blue. I like how putting the eyes down a little bit lower adds a little bit of personality. If you could look at this one and this one, they look like 2 different characters, even though it's the same pattern. Okay, this one is green, really pretty. And this one is lavender. This one almost looks like it has a mustache. Doesn't that look like a mustache? This guy is gold. So they're all a little bit different. That's 5 blueberries, and I still have a ton of yarn left. I can tell I'm not gonna be finishing this today because I have other things I want to work on. But I'm gonna keep a running count. I will keep a running count and let you know in this week or maybe future videos what is going on. So today I went to the house that we're packing up, and I packed up all my clothes and everything that was in my room and bathroom, and we dropped off the dog, and the weather's beautiful. Like, we're having a really pretty day here. It's about 79 out, which is really warm for Maine. And so I'm actually really, really tired because I cannot remember my dog's name. Lady woke me up at 4 o'clock in the morning, all the mornings that she was here, and so I didn't get very much sleep. So I think I'm gonna go take a really quick nap, and then when I feel revived, I will come back for more crochet. It has been a couple of days since that last video clip. I ended up sleeping for over 2 hours. I think I was just exhausted from the animals waking me up in the morning. But yeah, I did do some crochet that night, so I'll show you guys what I made. I have been working on these little baby squids, and I've been using velvet yarn. I can't remember what kind of yarn this is. I want to say it's chenille home slim or Premier Parfait, but it feels a little more velvety, but it could be Premier Parfait. But look how cute this is. So I made this little lavender one, and then I also made one. This is Fresnel yarn in the pink and yellow colorway, and I love how tiny the little mouth is. This is a really easy pattern to make. It's really quick. The only thing that's not quick are the tentacles, but once you get going, they're not that bad. It's just a really easy, cute pattern. I sell these for $12, but I could probably charge more, like $15. What do you think? I think on this one, he seems so chubby. I think possibly I didn't do the last round where you decrease, but I think he's just adorable as he is. This is Juicy Couture yarn. I was using a 4.5 millimeter hook for all of these squid. And then here's another chubby one that I used with Fresnel rainbow yarn. And then here is another one that I made in this yarn. So I need to go back and add mouths to these guys, but I now have a pretty good collection of squids. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squids. I want to also make some colors that are not pinks and purples. I would like to make some that are blue, or I was even thinking of doing one in green. I think that would be great for boys who come into my tent. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk to you guys about is I have a new pattern. I'm super excited about it. I just got like the itch to create something new, and I do find pattern writing, as far as like coming up with an original idea, very challenging. And if you have ever come up with your own patterns before, you may know what I'm talking about. It's just, there's so many patterns out there. There's so many great ideas out there. I don't want to copy somebody else's idea. I want to feel like what I'm coming up with is original. So it just came to me. I think I saw an image. I'll put the image on the screen. I saw an image of a coiled up snake. And I thought, okay, that's not something I have seen before. So are you ready for it? Here is the pattern I came up with. And he is supposed to be a coiled snake, and he's like resting his head on his body. This is not the final version of this pattern. I'm just kind of working it out. This is the original pattern. The picture, the snake's head is sitting upright and his little eyes were right here. My husband told me that this looks like a body part, so I had to alter my pattern. And I said, okay, how about if he's laying down? And then after I laid it down, I realized right away how much I loved it. And then originally I didn't have this extra little piece that makes it look like his tail is wrapping around his body. I just was gonna do like a round body with a head, and then I realized he needed something a little extra. So I made this extra little piece that I sewed on, and I think it's so cute. He's just like sleeping, and I used 25 millimeter green eyes with him. I would like to paint some eyes and make it really cool looking. I also want to get some of the white pupilled eyes, which I've never bought before, but I've seen a lot of you use them, and I think they look really neat. And then I did stitch his head down to where it stays. I wanted his head to be slightly curved over like that. But then when I stitched it, it just popped right back up. So I've got to think of a way to make it stay stitched. So this is the original one that I made. And then I decided to make one in Premier Parfait. And I overstuffed this tail on accident. So it's like not wanting to stay down. Another thing that I noticed is that it doesn't sit very well. So I'm thinking of doing a back loop only back here so that maybe it has more of a base to it. I think if I take some of the fluff out of the tail, it will wrap around a little bit easier. I do like this key lime Premier Parfait color, and I would definitely like to do some better eyes than just black eyes, but I didn't have the eyes with me where I was. I just had black eyes, so they're actually not even attached. I just put them in to see what they looked like because I'm still in like the creation phase. But I would love to get your input on what you think of my coiled snake. I was also thinking of a name for him, so I don't want it to just say like coiled snake, sleepy. I was thinking sleepy snake, but he's not really sleeping, but yet he is, because look how he's coiled up, but his eyes aren't closed, so that may not be like a sleepy snake. He's more like chilling out. He's like a chilling out snake. But I really like this pattern, this yarn pattern. I think it looks really nice. And so yeah, this is my new pattern. I'm really excited about it. It's still in the planning phase. So I will have a tester call out there in the next week or so. So be on the lookout for that. I will be moving this week, thank God. We close on our house tomorrow, and then I can start feverishly moving in. My plan is to go over and fill up my trailer that I just bought with as many kitchen boxes, clothing boxes, and stuff like that, to where the movers can just focus on heavy furniture. And then that gives me a day to start moving in. My mom and dad, of course, are still living with me because their house is not ready till July 7th. So they'll be there also, and they can help. But I'm excited. I'm really excited. I don't know how much time I'm going to have to crochet this week. So I just don't know. So I've thought of doing like a little video now that I can upload later in case I have like a little gap of time. But I'm going to be spending the day with my daughter uptown, so I don't think I'm going to have time to make anything like that. But I do have this video, and then I'm going to attach my video footage from the 2 markets that I went to on this video. The clip you guys are about to see is a compilation of 2 different markets that I went to. One was in Falmouth and one was in Cumberland. I don't want you to be disappointed because they are very anticlimactic. Neither of the markets were very good markets. I didn't have like a lot of sales to talk about. It was just kind of setting up, sitting for 3 hours, and then kind of going home. The first market, I sold 7 items. The second market, I sold 5 items. So lesson learned, these are not 2 markets I will be going back to again, but I'm going to go ahead and put the clips in. They're very short. I think it's only like 8 minutes of footage, but if you're interested, go ahead and stay tuned. Good morning, guys. Today is Wednesday. I think it's May 21st or 22nd. I am at my very first market in Maine, in a town called Falmouth, and it's basically a farmer's market with a couple of handmade vendors as well. It's really small. I'm just trying out some different markets to see what they're all about here. So it's a very chilly day, as you can tell from my red nose, and we set up at about 8:30, and the market started at 10, and it's about 10:30 now. I've sold a gecko and a chicken and a small turtle. So I've made my booth fee back, and if I decide that this isn't a good market, then I just won't come back, but we'll see. In the summertime, I would think it would be a little bit busier, but I'll give you guys a little view of my booth setup. It was just totally crazy because everything was packed up and I couldn't find half of my market stuff, so I just kind of went with it. But I'll give you a little booth tour, and I will check in every once in a while and let you guys know how it's going. But the market is only until 1 o'clock, so we'll see what happens. But this is kind of like a learning process for me in a new state. So I will check in with you guys in a bit. I'm about an hour from the market ending, and it's warmed up just a little bit. I sent my husband to the truck to do some work from the truck because there was really nothing to do around here, but it is like chilly. Look how red my face is. I've had a couple sales. I sold a chick with a hat. I sold a cheeky turtle to a cute little girl. I sold a couple chickens, and I actually just sold a bee, but the internet is so bad here that it didn't actually go through, but I didn't want to go find the lady who took the bee, so we'll just say I donated a bee to somebody. But anyway, yeah, it's been really slow. I've heard that this is like the opening day and that it gets better from here, so I may sign up for another Wednesday in a couple weeks, but for now it's kind of a slow day. I finished this little black bear. You just have to add his eyes and his nose. He's got fuzz all over him. I have 30 minutes. I'm quite chilly and I'm ready to go home. What did I just sell? I sold a velvet turtle. It's been slow. It's market day. We are just headed out in somewhat rainy weather, and we're going to go to Cumberland today for a 3-hour like a food festival market, or no, it's not a food festival market. It's a farmer's market, and wish us luck that the rain stops. We're gonna stop and get a coffee and some food and be on our way. Let me show you the trailer. So this is the trailer. All of my market stuff is in there. It's more space than I need, but he's gonna use it for other things too. And we just hooked it up and made sure that the brake lights were on. This is our first time to use the trailer, and let's just hope that all goes well. Here's a little view of my setup. I put my larger stuffed animals and snugglers here. And then I have all my giraffes in this box, some of my dolls here. Up here I have reptiles and dragons. There's all of my chickens. I have just random things here. I put some sea creatures here. I forgot my chalkboard signs, so that's what I'm doing. And then I have my fruit cows over here with the piglets. I thought those went together. I have another iguana up there. Here's my little cuddle critters. I have all of the turtles across the table. I actually just sold a turtle to a little boy named Charles. It's really cute. And then I have bees here, my kittens here, and then just axolotls, manatees, dogs, more turtles, and chicks with hats. And over here I have my booty turtles, random birds, random sea creatures, and I haven't shown this to you guys yet, but this is a pattern I just designed, and he's just here to hang out with me at the market. I actually don't want to sell him, but I will show him to you later in another vlog. And then over here I have my business cards. I got this business card holder on Amazon, and I got this frame at Walmart to put my picture in. We just had a little meltdown moment. A little kid came in and wanted an axolotl, and it was like a 10-minute crying fest. Don't I look like I didn't sleep last night? 35 minutes, and this is very similar to the market I went to before, where people are mostly buying vegetables, flowers, fruit, and meat, and not really interested in plushies, which is fine. I'm just figuring out which markets work for my product. So the day was going to be sunny. It looks a little bit better, and hold on. It's not like raining on me or anything like that. I have sold one turtle, so this is only a 3-hour market, so at least I don't have to sit here all day long if no one's going to buy anything. But it's tricky finding markets that work for what you sell, and I'm in a new state, so I don't really know the area very well. If you live in Maine and you know of a good market, let me know. about 25 minutes left of the market. It has been a flop, but that's okay. I've sold a turtle, 2 swinging characters, a cat, and I think a unicorn. Sold a velvet whale for $25. And I can't remember what else. I'll fill you in later. But we're about 25 minutes to packing up, and I just walked around and I bought some Greek food and some apple pies and spent more money than I made for that. So I will check in with you guys in a bit. Pretty much all the crochet that I've been doing. It's been a great week, a relaxing week, and I'm looking forward to the next chapter in the new house and just getting my crochet room all set up there and spending a little bit of time there and just kind of like getting settled. My stuff has been in boxes for months and I just feel like I don't know where half of my stuff is, and I've been crocheting in this room and it's just not a very pretty background, so I'm excited to get settled. So thank you very much, guys, for hanging out with me today. I will see you guys on the other side, and we'll see what is in store next. Have a great day, guys. Bye.